So hello, welcome to my channel again. My name is Kat and today I have for you this lovely German Vitrail glass. Vitrail is definitely a French word, but I think that we can definitely call this item a Vitrail glass, but they also were called little miniature paintings, let's have a look at this item. I feel slightly sentimental about this item because I grew up in Czechoslovakia in the 80s, and so looking at this item, it definitely reminds me of the crystals that I loved as a child. Not necessarily pendants like this, but they were little crystal pendants that originally belonged to very large chandeliers that were so popular in Czechoslovakia, Austria and Germany, because we definitely share a lot of cultural aspects. This item was produced sometimes between 1970s and 80s. This was the beginning of the New Age era. They have a lot of spiritual aspect to them. This one is shaped into like a diamond, but we can also see that it can reflect Orion star. It's got those rays of light that we can definitely find in many religious paintings, such as Russian Orthodox paintings. I really like them because they have sort of a rainbow colors in them. It's very kaleidoscopic. If you've seen pendants such as this one, and if you've seen many of them, they have all sorts of vibrant colors. They use the back foiling. As we can see on the back, there is a combination of colors: champagne, fuchsia, pink, purple, a light blue, dark blue, light green, darker green, and yellow. And so they add a lot of depth to the pendant when we look at them. Some of these pendants are edged, some of them have pressed panels on the back, so you can see them on the front, and it adds a lot of like 3D effect. A lot of these panels put on the back of these pendants, they have religious or magical aspect to them, because this is the New Age era. A lot of people were inspired by fantasy readings, fantasy movies, and so they wanted to have like a little talisman, little pocket talisman with them that would remind them of a spiritual ideas. These pictures could be unicorns, related to fairy tales or fantasy movies, Fatima hand, or praying hands, Jesus, Virgin Mary, and so on. A lot of crosses as well I've seen. So this one doesn't have necessarily a picture, but it's got that starburst effect with it. As you can see on the back, the back foiling is slightly worn off. That doesn't mean that the pendant is still not beautiful. It's still very beautiful. I think that personally I prefer items that show the time and use, because I'm a bit sentimental about vintage and antique jewelry altogether, so this is definitely my thing. I'm not really into a new type of jewelry, but that is okay if other people do. We all have different tastes. When you look at the loop, it's very lightweight. My friend, when I showed the pendant to him, he didn't like the loop, but I kind of like the loop. I like the shape of it. It reminds me Art Deco style, so we've got a little bit of a revival. We know that in Germany, they were reusing a lot of pieces of jewelry that were made in 1930s. I don't think that this is the case. That loop definitely is not made made in early 20th century, but definitely late 20th century, but it's got that Art Deco vibe to it. This would be definitely something that visitors who came to Germany would probably take with them, and I suppose this is the reason why you can get lots of these pendants here in the UK, where I live at the moment. And this is definitely a souvenir type of jewelry, very affordable. I can definitely see children purchasing this type of jewelry, and I think it's very cute, and I'm definitely sentimental about these pieces of jewelry. Backfoiling has got a lot of history. I think that I have spoken a little bit about backfoiling in my previous videos, but I would definitely remind you that backfoiling has got thousands of years of history. There were different types of backfoiling materials used to add a depth and sparkle to the stones. And there would be materials such as gold, silver, copper used, but then in the 20th century we would use aluminium, or this is definitely painted. So I think that will be probably it for today's item. And I will, if I have forgotten something, I will definitely talk a little bit more about history of German jewelry making, costume jewelry making, because that's definitely the topic that we should discuss when it comes to costume jewelry, because there were lots of costume jewelry produced in West Germany in the late 20th century. So this probably is it for today, and I will definitely bring you more videos of jewelry. Probably some of them won't be as lengthy, will not exceed 10 minutes, but I think it's definitely helpful, you know, if you want to just see the pieces of jewelry, even if I just give you a very brief introduction into it. I think it's just nice to see these pieces of jewelry, as it definitely expands our knowledge about the history of jewelry making, especially of costume jewelry history making, because I find that very exciting. So I hope you have a lovely day, and that you have enjoyed this very short jewelry presentation, and I should bring you more of these presentations in the future. And speak soon. Bye bye.